All right, mate. So, am I still bullish on TLM? Well, I I am, but it's kind of touch and go at this point. Now let me explain. So this, in theory, is a bullish pattern, and this should break to the upside. Now, but uh, the problem is here now on the weekly, we are forming a bearish candle. Okay, this is a bearish candle, and then it could like continue to the downside. So that's the worry at this point, and we're kind of running out of time for this bearish candle. So maybe this bullish pattern could fail. Now, what probably needs to happen is we need to kind of bounce over the next 1 or 2 days and form a fairly more bullish candle than this. So, if it's going to bounce, it needs to kind of start flipping green and start moving its way back up. Now, the other thing is, if we form a bit of a better candle than this, and even if we don't form a bit of a better candle, now, if we formed a green candle next week, right? Now I still hold some TLM because I got caught in it the other day when I was sleeping. Um, Now, if so, I'm still holding, but I'm just watching. I'm just watching carefully and just seeing if it starts getting bearish, I'll just end up cutting it. But if we formed a green candle next week, it could potentially be a very, very bullish sign, because this would be a failure on the bears. The bears move would fail if we bounce back up and negated this move. That would then probably tell me that we are going to end up bouncing right back up. Okay, so it would then turn this pattern back into a bullish pattern, and we would break back to the upside. So at this point, it's not looking great. But sometimes the market likes to do this before it actually, actually turns bullish. Now, let me just give you an example. If I just move you over to another part of my screen here, this is Alice. Now, as you can see, Alice was doing the same thing, and it's kind of failed and dropped back down on the daily chart, but it's forming almost an identical pattern in a way where you get a break up, you're holding above all moving averages. You've got the white 100 moving average down below price. And then it's looking pretty bullish at this point, and it's starting to recover. It had that bad drop as well, but it's actually starting to recover more than TLM. So we need TLM to recover a bit like this. If I don't know if I can fit both of them on the one chart. Just about kind of, you can kind of just see. I suppose I can move it over there, but you can kind of just see the two of them here and get a look at them. There's a bit more downward momentum on this, but in theory, it should start curling up at some point, and it should break back to the upside. What is actually very good is if this becomes a kind of a U-shaped pattern and breaks back up, you would expect this to do something like that. But it needs to start holding, and it needs to start showing some strength. Alice here, on the other hand, is starting to look a lot better. Again, if you see the weekly is still red. Next week, Alice looks to me like it wants to do something like this. So there are both ones we need to keep an eye on here. I want to see some strength in TLM pretty soon, or I would be a little bit more worried. But then again, we have to watch next week to see if it can flip green and negate this bearish signal.